All right, so I've been getting a ton of questions about new mothers postpartum and just women in general that have urinary urgency or those symptoms of kind of like key in the door, feeling like they really need to run to and rush to the bathroom. And so I wanted to touch on a few strategies that you can use. It's not a one catch fix all type of thing. It's usually a combo of some of these strategies, but to have those in your toolbox so that when those symptoms come about, that you feel more confident with what you can do to manage those symptoms and kind of retrain that bladder. So there's more that we can go into specifically on kind of what the bladder retraining and all of that is in general, but I just wanted to give you guys some tangible things, 4 things to kind of take away with today, and then you can try them out and let me know what you think. So the first one is a quick flick. So that's a pelvic floor contraction, more like quick contraction. So think more like coordination, or if you're gonna flick on and off a light. And it doesn't have to be like max effort that you're squeezing everything that you have. That actually doesn't really work very well. So you want to be able to like 50 to 70% effort. So not all the way and not barely, but just enough that you're getting those muscles to contract, and doing 3 to 5 reps of those when those urge symptoms arise. So doing a few quick flicks, or thinking kind of like flicking the light, flicking up and down, and making sure that those muscles relax a little bit and contract, and kind of going up and down with that coordination. So that's one strategy that you can do, the quick flicks. The next one is deep breathing. So if you've seen other content that I've been putting out, there is so much that you can do with our breath and how that impacts our core dynamic system. So with our diaphragm, pelvic floor, deep abdominals, the transverse abdominis specifically. So when you're breathing, you're actually getting those muscles to relax a little bit within the pelvic floor, and then that recoil contraction as well. So that deep breathing can help. The other thing is that you can actually use that deep breathing to also tap into your parasympathetic nervous system. So that system is more your rest and digest system. So that's where we want to kind of get into, rather than feeding into what we'd call the sympathetic nervous system, which is kind of that fight or flight or urgent feeling with more of that part of that aspect of your nervous system. So deep breathing kind of has a 2-part to it, where it's getting your core system to allow for the muscles to contract and relax naturally, but also it's allowing you to kind of take charge of that moment and reset and get more into that parasympathetic nervous system kind of sphere of how your body's responding to that stimulus of feeling like you have the urgency to go to the bathroom, and then breathing through it to allow for bringing down that heightened state of urgency, and then also with the muscles to contract and relax naturally and functionally as well. The other strategy is distraction, which sounds kind of silly, but if, for example, you have, you're going on a walk, and as you come around the corner and get close to your driveway, you have the symptom of like, oh my gosh, I have to go to the bathroom right now. And it's something that, even though you hadn't been drinking a lot of water, or you had already gone previously before starting your walk, or different things like that, doing one more thing or a distraction. So I like to have a lot of the women I work with think about maybe grab the mail. When you go inside, maybe do like one thing, preheat the oven if you were gonna start making dinner, or something like that. Just one more thing, wash your hands, whatever that might be. Which that washing the hands might be a little more challenging if you haven't mastered some of these strategies. But in general, being able to have that distraction component. And then the next one is to walk to the bathroom. Try not to speed walk, try not to be crossing your legs and walking or rushing to the bathroom. That also gets more into that loop of urgency and that sympathetic nervous system, which we are trying to suppress with the bladder retraining. So the 4 techniques today that I was teaching you is quick flicks, so quick pelvic floor contractions, deep breathing, distraction, and then walking to the bathroom. So all of these strategies can be used depending on the amount of urgency or the urge itself, if it's small, medium, large urge to actually use the restroom. And the goal is to buy you a little bit more time. It's not to completely suppress the urge forever, for hours or anything like that, but it might be to buy you 5 more minutes, 10 more minutes, maybe an hour, to allow for your bladder to be at an appropriate amount of fullness before needing to actually void. And if you have further questions on that, or if you feel like your frequency of urination is a lot, or if you feel like you barely use the restroom, that also is something that I would love to talk more about with you. So feel free to comment below if the urgency is something that you're experiencing, or if it's more on the stress incontinence side of things and you're experiencing more of symptoms of leaking with coughing, sneezing, laughing, lifting, and exercise, or if it's more of the frequency that you're seeing for increased frequency of urination too. But yeah, so that's your strategies for today. Let me know how they go, and I look forward to doing some more educational pieces for everyone.